Holy shit, Final Fantasy 12 is so goddamn cool. I mean, it has everything. It has monsters, crocodile people, flying ships, monsters, cute bunnies, Darth Vader, sands, nice landscapes, and so much awesome stuff, man. I'm like, wow, holy shit, is that, oh my god, I love Final Fantasy! So dumb. Hey, hello everybody, my name is Zombie Master, you can call me ZM, and yep. Welcome to my Final Fantasy 12 review. It's about fucking time. Last time I talked about Final Fantasy 12, I was not very kind to it, right? I have to admit. And yeah, it's not very, I didn't say very nice things about Final Fantasy 12. Final Fantasy 12, and when I posted that video, people were pretty quick to tell me that I was wrong. And, you know, maybe they're right. Maybe the people who wrote in the comments, maybe they're right. And so why not revisit the game, you know, and play it again? So I got the Zodiac Age on Steam, and I loaded it up. And, yeah, I was wrong. The music of this game is, in my opinion, one of the best soundtrack ever put out in a Final Fantasy game. And yes, you would be correct to say that there's no like super big iconic songs like the intro of Final Fantasy 16 or Welcome to Zanarkand, Liberi Fatali from Final Fantasy 8 or the 14 million songs Final Fantasy 7 has in its repertoire, because almost every single song people can sing them. You know, they don't have like a lot of songs that you can just hum, you know. They don't really have this, but I would say that it's one of those soundtracks that fully complements the game. Every locations, every fight, every cutscenes, the soundtrack fits perfectly. It just perfectly attached itself to every given situation. I played the game using the reorchestration arrangements, and holy shit, it sounds so good. I cannot remember a moment where I thought the music was bad. You know, when you play a game or you listen to an album, you always have this one song that you either skip or you're just like, ah, man, I don't like this song in the game. That section, I don't like the song. Well, there's none of that in Final Fantasy 12. Every single songs are just brilliantly written. I can vividly remember the first couple of hours when I played Final Fantasy 12. I was in the desert and I was just grinding and stuff, and I just got lost. 15 minutes turned into an hour, and honestly, I just didn't see the time going by because the music is so good, and I just got lost into it. I would say like the voice acting is really cool. You have like some people who put in like a lot of efforts into making like some voices that are just like really great. Like this one, for instance.
Yes, different style means different bouquet too. Take a Damascus Barreau's wine, It may lack the flavor and depth of some of your Arcadian wines, but it has a certain strength of character. It's not bad, really, once you get used to it.
But the problem is sometimes you have like some voice acting that's just, it sounds like they didn't even try. Obviously, like those little thing here and there didn't take me out of my experience, but it's really hard to not notice them when the voice acting is pretty A grade, and then you hear subpar performances sprinkled throughout the game. It didn't ruin my experience, but I would say like it's pretty noticeable. So the main cast of the game is a very well-rounded one. Everyone serves its purpose. You have Bosch, the fallen soldier, will do everything for his people. Ash, the fallen queen princess,
who would be next?
Who is literally willing to sacrifice her own people to save her kingdom and to get rid of the evil empire who stole her land. And then you have like this character Vaughn, who pretty much lost everything during the war, who dreams to be a sky pirate as a mean to cope with everything that's happened in his life. You have Balti and Fran, those two badass sky pirates, and then you have Panello, who's just there. I don't know why she's there, but she's there. She's Vaughn's friend. Okay, to be fair, like, she doesn't really contribute much in the story. Like, here and there in the first act, she kind of like gives the player some hints about potential character growth for Vaughn. But she's just there. She has like one or two small interjections here and there, and then the game does hook you up into its story like right from the start, with its interesting plot twist and conspiracies and, you know, the war and the politics. And it doesn't really take long for the player to understand what's going on. You're not lost at any given moment. Like, it's pretty straightforward. The story is not over convoluted, because, you know, there's a lot of that in Final Fantasy or Square Enix games. Sometimes they just like cram in like a lot of stuff at once, and this game is, no, it's pretty clean. Like, this the plot point of the story, it's pretty clean. At the beginning of the game, you follow a character named Vaughn, who is basically a more arrogant and younger version of Titus. And everybody in your party hates him. Not a single person likes Vaughn, except for Panello, because you need to justify her presence in the party, because, you know, she's basically just there. Later, you meet the cool Baltier and the gorgeous Fran, and you help out Bosch and Princess Ash in her quest to save her kingdoms from the evil empire and his army of Keyblade warriors. I mean, judges. Like, honestly, like, it's a very classic, fun premise. I felt very involved in the story right from the start. So during the second act, they kind of like stopped putting emphasis on the storytelling and world building, and they just focus on a bunch of like and-thens. Like, and then you go to this cave, and then you go to this village, and then you go to this forest, and then you go to the desert, and then you go back here, and then you go back there. And you had a couple of very interesting plot points, but like whenever you have like something cool that's happening, it just abruptly ends for you to move on to the next and then section of the second act. Like, you have this scene where you have this refuge village in the mountains, and you have this king, and then you do whatever the king wants, and then he dies. And you move on, and we never talk about them again. Or you have this big mutiny with the judges, and it's really, really cool. You see like some fights within the order, and then it never goes anywhere. You don't talk about it ever again. The mutiny ends, and it's just, that's it. Cool. At one point, you go into Arcadia, and you have like Baltier has this big secret, and who knows what happens? What is secret? I don't know. You know why you don't know? Because they don't really talk about it. They never fucking say anything about it. He just disappears, and then he comes back like, what is his secret? Who gives a shit? Because you'll never fucking know. And I'm gonna be very honest, I didn't care. I didn't care at that point, because it goes nowhere. It goes nowhere. It really does go, it doesn't go anywhere. Two plot threads I would say that is like really, really interesting to me, at least during the second act, was Fran's village section, because you get to learn more about the story of your party members, and also because you get to learn a little bit more lore about the world, and it was a nice world building section. And then the other thing is Van and Ash's story. They are the only two characters in your party, actually in the whole game, who actually undergo an arc. Yeah, because like throughout the whole second act and third act, you follow Ash's struggle with power and her actions, and how she copes with the death of her people, and how she copes with the immense weight her nations put on her shoulders. You see her struggles with her actions, and you see that she's constantly questioning herself and her motive. Like, she knows that she's doing the right thing, but is she really doing the right thing? Is it the right course of actions? And she questions herself throughout the whole story, and it's really interesting. And the other thing is Vaughn. The more you realize that his story is really tied into Ash's story, and not just because of his brother, but mostly because he's one of her people, someone who has to deal with the things that she tries to fight against. And the more that he belongs in a party, the more you see him grow as a character, and you start to understand why he acts this way, why he does these sorts of actions, and you found like a really deep and interesting story. But the thing is, you need to actually take the time to listen to what he says, especially during the moments where you have this big character growth on Vaughn's side, because Baltier constantly picks on him. Doesn't matter if the whole party starts to respect him. Doesn't matter if people starts to listen to him and understand where he comes from, and understand that this whole demeanor and the way that he presents itself at the beginning of the game is just his means basically to cope with his brother's death and the death of basically, you know, his hometown. Fran and Baltier never seems, throughout the whole game, Baltier and Fran doesn't seem to like him very much. They always do some small jabs and interjections at him, like at a point where during the third act is just unjustified. Like they're just assholes. Everything that he does and everything that Vaughn says, like it's annoying to them. But the thing is, like, he grows as a character, and it feels like he's never going to be welcome no matter what he does. Kind of feels like his inclusion in the party feels like an afterthought, and like Baltier is like, oh my fucking god, just leave. All right, everybody, let's talk about the gameplay. Oh boy. The gameplay. Oh my god, the gameplay. The gameplay. The gameplay. The game has a leveling system. You fight monsters and you get XPs and AP, and yep, that's the game. I love a good game. I love a good game with a good class system, you know, like Final Fantasy Tactics or Like a Dragon 8. Like those games are really awesome. You create some versatility and you can basically play the game the way that you want to be played. It's really awesome. It tailors your experience and customizes your experience towards like the way that you want to play. The game allows you to basically expand into a second class without any penalties, right? Which is really awesome. So you get to have like a second class, and unlike like Baldur's Gate and some other games, like the AP and XP and everything is shared. So it's really awesome. Really awesome. It creates a lot of versatility, and plus you can always change your classes whenever you want by resetting your boards and stuff. It's pretty cool. And what's nice is like you can basically decide what's important for your character and how you want to build it. It's really awesome. But there's like one thing about the classes that I don't like. It's everything is locked through the grid. Like even the equipment is locked behind a grid. Now I understand you don't want to be overpowered. You don't want to kill everything right from the start with the strongest weapon. You want to keep like all your abilities, enhancements, stats boosts, and Gambit stuff like sealed into a progression system. I totally understand this. I'm not unfamiliar, you know, with items being locked by levels and locked by stats and stuff, but the fact that they're locked by the grid system, I find is like so dumb. Your character could be like level 79, go to her market, all right, and be like, hey, look, mom, I bought a new hat. And then your character just like put the hat and be like, and then the game is like, oh man, you didn't get your license, dude. Like, oh bro, you want to wear a hat, man? Oh, look at this, man. You need to pass this exam. Holy shit, you need to pass this fucking exam, man. Wow, look at you, man. You can't wear normal fucking hats. Congratulations, you fucking piece of shit. I cannot wear like pants. You cannot wear fucking shoes. You need to pass a fucking exam. Why? Why didn't you just use the grid system for Final Fantasy X, for instance? That one was good. You know, why didn't you use something like this instead of being like locking down your fucking equipment? You can't wear a goddamn hat. I would say like the other thing that annoys me in this game is like the traps. I don't understand the traps. I don't get it. Why? Why is that a thing? I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. Do you? Do you? I don't. I don't get it. The combat system of this game is it's a combat system that tried to be a lot of things that it's not good. Like the combat style plays a little bit like Kingdom Hearts. You know, it has like the same type of menus, same type of system, but it's just like way worse. I don't understand also why the item sorting system is latest item by default at the bottom. So it doesn't sort the items based on like category type or whatnot. So it's so inconvenient to cycle through your items. It's really annoying. When I did my playthrough, you can have like fully active, and I chose to have the game pause whenever I interact with the character during combat. And I'm gonna tell you, if you play the game, even with the slowdown, I applaud you, because navigating into these combat menus is a pain in the ass. Oh, but wait, there's more. This combat, not only it tries to be an action RPG, because it doesn't, right? Because it doesn't want to be a fully action RPG. No. Where Final Fantasy is not a fully action RPG. We don't do that shit, all right? That's Kingdom Hearts. That's Final Fantasy 15. All right, Final Fantasy 15 was not made yet, but you know what I mean, all right? So you know what we're going to do? We don't want to anger the people, the old school people. We don't want to anger the people who are like, oh man, I like my Final Fantasy to be turn-based. So you know what they did? They added the fucking ATB system into the game, you know? So that way the people who used to play RPGs being like, oh my God, I feel just like home. And you know what? And it's applied not just to you, it's applied to the entire party. So everybody lives and plays through the ATB system, even the characters that you don't control. And yes, in Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, the ATB system is present in the game. However, it's only there to be used as a special bar more than preventing the player to be able to perform any meaningful actions. Since these games are fully action RPGs similar to Kingdom Hearts, you're still able to perform meaningful action, you're still able to kill, you still be able to move, you still be able to do any of that stuff without having to have something in the background preventing you or your party to execute any basic attacks. So in Final Fantasy XII, the usage of the ATB system is completely useless and pointless. It's only there to cater to the people who likes to play the games like the good old days. In my opinion, the only reason why the ATB system is there in the first place is probably just to slow down the gameplay and also to make the player use the Gambit system. So everything feels like pain. Every time a character needs to perform an action, you need to pause, and then, or you need to press a button, and then you have to do something because they're not going to attack on their own. They're not going to do anything. They just wait there, soulless, waiting for you to tell them what to do, right? So it's like an action game where you need to tell them what to do at all time. And sometimes it cues in actions, but there's nothing that queuing, because if you tell them to do something before they attack, they will do the last input that you tell them to. So I don't even know what Q does. I don't understand. The combat, everything is slows down, and there's no meaningful like actions. There's nothing that you do in your damage input or your spell input, all right, that has enough damage input to justify having you to press all the time and do all that shit. So introducing the fucking Gambit system, motherfucker! Gambit system is like the one-stop shop system that will prevent you from dealing with this god-awful piece of trash shit combat system and its fucking horrendous menu. All right, it's so powerful. It's a powerful tool. It can do everything. This game can do everything. The Gambit system is like an automation system. It can help you to automate the healing process, the spell casting, targeting of enemies, targeting of your allies, combat, every single combat interactions with every single possibility. You can even like sort your interaction based on health, characters, status, strength, distances, if it's a friend, if it's a foe, like everything a player would do there's a function that you can apply in the Gambit system. Everything a player can do, the Gambit system can automate it. The Gambit system is so strong and you don't even have to play the game. I mean, why would you? You can basically set the game, all right? You can basically set the game to what fits best to every character and every character in your party, and there you go. You don't need to play. You just need to take your analog stick and just like roam. The moment I started to have access to it and started to be able to buy some of those gambits, I haven't touched a single button on here unless like I really had to. Like really had to. Meaning like that, not that much. Once you reach Arcadia, all right, you can buy every single gambit. Every permutation of gambit assignment, it's there. You can turn the game basically in an auto battler. And the thing is, like, using the gambit system, you can find like a combo that basically just, you know, put the whole game into autopilot. Like even against boss fights. So yeah, so no more button pressing, no more anything. All you have to do is just use analog sticks to go from destination A to destination B and let the gambit system just deal with everything. That's it. And you know what? I hate that shit. And I'm gonna be very honest. By the sound of my voice, I hope you understand that I hate that shit. Hate it. I found that it made the game boring. Because there's no more strategy. There's no more like thoughts into whatever. You just like have a combo that works and then you just plow through the game. That's it. You don't need to think. Like, where's my strategy? Where's like my, like, there's no interaction. There's no thoughts into the game. Like the moment you can play the game on autopilot, it's done. Finito. Bye-bye. Arrivederci. Ciao. Even Final Fantasy 13, which is like super extra linear, all right? The combat system, at least against the boss fights, you had to put some strategy and you had to put some thoughts into the game. Like, yeah, sure, the game is basically an auto battler, all right? But not against the boss fights at the very least. And for Final Fantasy 12, you don't need to. You just stock up on the items and then you're good to go. You don't even have to press a single button. Oh boy, I sure love playing a game that's like 40 hours, 30 hours, 60 hours, 100 hours of like doing nothing. Letting my controller go be like, oh my god, it's so much cool, man. I beat the boss. I didn't do anything. My god, it's so much fun. Oh my god, it's so much fun, man. I love not being able to play a game, man. It's so freaking cool. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I'm fighting one of the toughest boss fight in the game. Oh my god, I'm reading a book. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is me actually in real time just fucking around while I'm fighting some of the strongest fights in the game. Look, here I am. Look, I'm doing it again. See? Look, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. See? Wow, wow, wow! So cool! My God! Now I hear you say, all right, cool. You don't have to automate everything. Yeah, you're right. You don't have to automate everything. But why wouldn't you use the system for that? Like, the combat system sucks. The menu navigation is bad. It's not a good action RPG. It's not a good turn-based RPG either. The ATB system slows down everything. It becomes like a spam contest. It makes the whole, and not like a good one, and not a good spamming contest because you have to deal with the freaking menu system, right? So basically the game becomes like a pause fest. And then you're going to be like, oh yeah, but in Baldur's Gate, the game pauses. Yeah, but your actions have meaning. When you fight against a character that has like 20 million HP and your attack does like 1,000 damage, right? How long would you'll be like this for like 2 hours? Fuck this. No. No. In Baldur's Gate, at least your action has meaning. In Final Fantasy 12, that doesn't. It doesn't because you never do actually substantial any form of damage to be able to justify the amount of pausing you would do if you play without the Gambit system. And now even with that, if you're gonna be like, yeah, but that's how I like to play it. What, you just want to press buttons just for the sake of pressing buttons? The combat system is barely functional. So what do you want to do? You just want to press X just for the sake of pressing X? Oh, look at this! Look at this! I can do that too. All right, I can do that too. Check this out! Check this out! Check this out! Check this out! All right, you want to press buttons? All right, cool. I'm gonna make you something. Check this out! Check this out! I'm gonna craft something right there. All right, I'm gonna craft something. I'm gonna craft something. All right. Let me craft something for you. I'm gonna cook up a little something. I'm gonna cook up a little something. You're gonna be like, oh my god, man, look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna hack a little something so you can press buttons and like, bang! Holy shit! You wanna press buttons? Look at this! Oh my god, you gotta press buttons. Like, here we go. Press the buttons. Press the fucking buttons. Come on, press the buttons. Wow, wow, wow! Oh my god, I'm having so much fun, man. Check this out, man. I'm pressing some fucking buttons. Yeah! Yes, sir! Fuck yeah! I'm pressing some buttons. Yeah! Holy shit! My god! Yeah! Yeah! I'm pressing buttons, man! Oh my god! I love pressing buttons! I don't dislike the Gambit system. I don't hate the Gambit system. Alright, I think the Gambit system is a really cool system. It's just way too strong. And it ruined the game for me. Like, absolutely ruined the game for me. It ruined the enjoyment. Already, I thought the gameplay was not really good. Now, with the Gambit system, I didn't need to interact with it. So now I was like, why am I playing? Like, the second act of the game was already super boring. For a long time, I was like, what am I doing? You know? If the Gambit system have some form of limitation, you know, or something that would be able to make me interact a little bit more and feel a bit more involved in the gameplay, it would be really awesome. But then in that case, they would need to revamp the whole gameplay system, because if the game stays as is, you know, with the current combat system, let's say, and you have a less powerful Gambit system, the gameplay would suck. Like, the Gambit system basically saved the game, in my opinion, because the gameplay system outside of the Gambit, it's pretty bad. And the thing is, like, I'm an RPG enjoyer. I really love playing RPGs. I love strategy and stuff. And this game did not brought me any form of challenges, because I was able to basically ace everything from A to Z without pressing a single button. And, you know, that made the whole thing boring. And now the final verdict. Do I hate Final Fantasy XII? Well, no. But I don't really like it either. The story does have a lot of very strong moments, and the soundtrack is beautiful. They did try something new. It was not really good, but hey, at least they tried something new. The story is pretty generic, but it's not like awful. A lot of very underwhelming segments, but it does redeem itself in the third act and during its final. Do I recommend the game? Nah, not really. But for those who love the game, I will tell you this. I get it. I understand. And after spending all this time playing it and replaying the game, I understand. If I have to grade this game, I'd give it a good old C for could be better. Hey, thank you very much, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you did, press the like buttons, the subscribe, and the bells and all that stuff. If you didn't, you can always thumbs down the video. And also let me know in the comment below, do you like Final Fantasy XII? And what games would you like me to review in the future? Have a good one, everybody. See you soon, and bye-bye!